A message from a farmer to his grandkids, raising some religious ire today. It reads, "Enjoy life now, there is no afterlife." The billboard sponsored by the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Time for our faith panel to chomp on this one. Rabbi Spero has served in New York and Ohio, David Silverman, president of American Atheists, and Bill Donohue, president of the Catholic League. All right, so David, I'm sure you're going to love this message that this grandfather is passing along, his legacy, he says, to his grandkids.
Of course I love the message. It's the truth. You know, every living thing in the universe dies, no matter how much we wish it weren't true. And the objective of humanity is to live on to the next generation, to pass a good legacy on to your children. The American atheists and atheists everywhere and people everywhere need to live for today because there is no afterlife. Take care of your fellow man because, of course, Bill, God is not going to do it.
If you're a Christian, Bill, you want to live every day to the fullest and be good to your fellow man, right?
Absolutely.
But you also believe that there's a higher life and a higher being that's going to be there when you pass.
Right. Usually intelligent people normally do.
Oh, you're going to insult my intelligence now?
I don't know how much intelligence you have.
I didn't know intelligent people believe that an invisible man in the sky.
You have to understand tolerance, sir. I know it doesn't come naturally to atheists. No, a tolerance for my freedom of speech. Yeah. You had your opportunity and you blew it.
You insulted me.
Here's what happens. You know, this particular billboard, I'm not offended by that. You know what it says? It says they don't believe in anything. We all know that. I'm offended by people like him when he takes Christ and exploits him with this crown of thorns and puts it up in Times Square at Christmas time. I'm offended by Freedom from Religion Foundation when they put up negative statements against my religion on the same property at Christmas time. If you want to say you believe in nothing, I say you could. I know you stand for nothing. I know you're good for nothing, so we agree.
It's Rabbi? Not about being offended. It's about telling the truth. There is no fantasy.
Well, let's see what the truth is according to the rabbi.
Well, I do believe in an afterlife. Material things die, but the spirit, the soul lives on. It is eternal. But I do also believe that God wants us to enjoy and have happiness in this life, not necessarily fun, but happiness, deep fun, deep gratitude. And the way to do this in this world is to elevate the life that you live in. When you eat with dignity. Other things, you impart sanctity and sacredness to these things, and you have an elevated life. And I think also for those of us that are religious, it's important to know that this life is important. We should be politically involved. We should vote for those candidates that represent our values, our wholesome values, our American values. So this life is important, even though the afterlife, of course, is important as well.
Do you think we should vote for candidates who actually espouse preferential treatment for religion over non-religion?
We should vote for candidates that reflect our values. And there are
that's not an answer to my question.
Well, David,
what is your question?
David, the point of it is that 1/5 of the U.S. public and 1/3 of adults under 30 now are not religiously affiliated.
That's right.
So I don't know, you may have a point with who they end up voting for.
They're very intelligent, huh, Bill?
I want to move on to what
Almost
today
none of them are atheists, by the way. They're indifferent. They're not like you.
Right.
I want to move on to what today is, which is Halloween.
Yes.
And believe it or not, there's a religious aspect to this holiday. Now, Bill, some people believe that Christians should not celebrate Halloween because, why? Because there's witches involved? Do you agree with that or not?
No, I don't. I mean, I understand that going back in history, one could make some argument that Christians should be concerned. Get over it. We live in the United States of America in 2013. Let the little kids have their fun. I respect the idea if somebody doesn't want to have their kid go out there and do it, but quite frankly, I think this is hyperventilating about nothing. They sound to me almost as irrational as the atheists do.
Rabbi, do you think that there's any sort of a religious connotation to the holiday of Halloween?
Regardless of what the origins were of Halloween, today in America, the neighborhood Halloween is a very nice thing. It's neighborly. People send their children around and you extend friendship. But what I do object to is people that make Halloween a period for things that are ghoulish, gory, bloody, somehow glorifying death and celebrating certain satanic things. And you see that in some of the costumes. So I would urge parents to minimize that type of display.
I think I need to check my son's last 2 years with you. Bloody skeleton last year and headless horseman this year. Tell me later.
And there's
okay, David.
There's nothing wrong with that. I agree for the most part with my two co-panelists here. There's nothing here. A lot of people like to pick fights, and some Christians, not present company, obviously excluded, like to pick fights when there's not a fight. There's no fight here, and I will say it on the record, with the exception of that last statement, I agree with Bill Donohue.
Oh my gosh!
There is a God. There is a God.
No, there is not a God. We disagree again. We disagree again. I feel much better. I feel much better.
You both had great statements. Rabbi, great.